Seth Godin is the marketing guru of the internet age. He's written many wildly popular books, including Permission Marketing and Purple Cow. Businessweek called Seth Godin the ultimate entrepreneur for the information age. Seth Godin is joining me today via webcam to talk about Squidoo, his latest venture. Good morning, Seth.
Good morning to you. But before we start, I have to tell everyone, I read your book, and it's really good. And everybody on eBay needs to read it. It's that good. Good work.
Well, that's very kind of you, Seth. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you. Our viewers on Auction Bites TV are online auction sellers. Have you ever sold anything on eBay?
I did my first sale on eBay in '99, I think. I was at Yahoo at the time, and Yahoo was busy trying to dream up what it was going to do with auctions. And every couple of years I go back just to go through the process. I find it a little unnerving to do business in such an intangible way, but I can definitely see how it could be addictive and extremely profitable.
Yes, I think it is addictive. So tell me, is there a difference between marketing an online business versus a brick and mortar business?
Well, the biggest difference is that in the real world, you pay money for real estate, and that's a marketing expense. You don't realize it's a marketing expense, but it is. And so you've got these businesses that are spending hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year to establish a presence that tells a story, a presence that stands for something. Well, then we get online, and you don't have to do that. So a lot of businesses don't bother. A lot of businesses say, well, I don't have to spend the money. I'll just sit here and do as little as possible. And then they're surprised when people don't trust them. And they're surprised when the word doesn't spread. And what I've been saying for a really long time is just because it feels like it ought to be free, that you can set something up in no time, doesn't mean that that's a successful way to do it. That the people who are winning online are investing in several things. They're investing in customer service. They're investing in the look and feel of the way they come across. They're investing in keeping their promises, doing what they say they're going to do, even when it's expensive. And I think Amazon is a great example of someone who's doing all of those things. So lots of people came along after Amazon and said, wow, it's really cheap, let's set up a bookstore. But no one caught up because they forgot to pay for the real estate.
I do think that in the early days of eBay, you almost didn't have to do any marketing, and now it's a more competitive marketplace for sellers. So what 2 or 3 marketing tips would you give a person starting their own e-commerce site or starting their own eBay business?
Well, I think I'm just going to obsess about one to start with, which is this. You have to make a choice early on. Either you're going to be a commodity seller who's going to get commodity prices for commodity stuff. That you're going to say, wow, lots of people are buying creative webcams. I can do the math. There they are. I'm going to get me some creative webcams, and I'll just sell them at the best price that I can. The alternative is to choose to build an asset. And the asset is an audience of people who want to hear from you. That if you are selling antique spoons and you discover, or they discover you, 1,000 antique spoon collectors, and you can email them every time you have a new auction coming out, you have something your competition will never have. And what it means is, instead of always running around looking for customers for your products, you can try to find products for your customers. And there's a whole niche, a big niche within eBay of people who are using eBay as the intermediary to help them adjudicate auctions among people they already have a relationship with. And the beauty of it is over time that number can only grow. Over time you become more powerful. Over time you have more leverage and you can have more fun selling the stuff you're selling.
Right. Squidoo is your latest venture. What made you decide to start Squidoo.com?
Well, Squidoo starts with the following assertion. Google is broken. eBay is broken. All the search engines are broken. If you go to Google and do a search, say, on espresso machine, you'll find more than 1 million matches. Now, no human being is going to look at all 1 million matches before they decide to buy an espresso machine. Instead, what you might do is click on 1 or 2 of the AdWords to the side, click on 1 or 2 of the top links, which got there by SEO, and figure out, with a bunch of clicking and backing and forthing, how to get enough meaning that you're actually ready to buy something. Or the same thing might be true if you were looking to buy something on eBay. You might do a search on, to use the hackneyed one, Beanie Babies, and you find thousands of matches. How do you pick? Is it just by price? There's too much information, too much noise. So what Squidoo is a card catalog, a hand-built card catalog of the web. So if someone who's an expert on something can build a page, which we call a lens, about that item. So let's go back to the antique spoon example. You could build a page that says, here are the 3 books on Amazon that I liked about antique spoons. Here are 2 blogs that talk about collecting spoons, and here's what they've said lately. Here is news stories about antique spoons or what Sotheby's has got. And here are eBay auctions where people are selling spoons. And here, in fact, are all of my current eBay auctions. So someone could look at this, and if they typed antique spoons into Google or to Squidoo or to wherever, they could find this page and in 1 minute get the big picture. They could say, wow, Ina really knows what she's talking about. I get it. I see that she's done her homework. Now I trust her enough to bid in one of her auctions. Now I trust her enough to read one of these blogs or to buy one of these books. And so the idea was that Squidoo's a platform. We don't do any of the content, but we have 25,000 lenses already. 15,000 people have come in and built these pages on every topic. And over time, the number of pages will increase, and we'll be able to give people a shortcut to find what they want to buy, or what they want to read, or what they want to learn online.
Seth, you hit upon one word that's really critical on eBay. That's the word trust. I think what you're saying is that Squidoo allows you to present the information and makes you appear trustworthy on that topic. What makes Squidoo an effective marketing tool, and how do people find my Squidoo lens?
Well, there are several ways that people are finding lenses. The first is if you do a Google search, say on Rey Mysterio, the professional wrestler, the second or third top ranked page will be one of our pages, a Squidoo page about that wrestler. So lots of people find us by doing a Google search. And the difference between using your auctions to find people and using a lens to find people is your auctions go away. So when the auction is over, Google stops tracking it, whereas your lens can keep getting more and more traffic. So if you build a lens about antique spoons, you could go to the blogs and say, would you mind pointing to my lens? Because I'm pointing back to you and I've got information that I think your readers would like. And over time, more and more people will discover your lens, and that then becomes the gateway back to your website if you have one, or your current auctions if you have one. So for example, I built a lens about my blog, and this lens has my favorite blog posts, it has lists of my books, etc. And what I found is that plenty of people find my blog by typing my name into Google, but plenty of people are bumping into my lens on Squidoo and getting into my blog that way, or buying a book that way. The best part is because it's free and takes 10 minutes, why not?
Right. That's the value of content on the internet. And I know that some sellers spend a lot of time on their auction descriptions. I think they forget that that is content. Can a seller include some of their own interesting auction descriptions in Squidoo? Because my guess is that that would help them get picked up by the search engines.
Oh, it makes a huge difference. Squidoo is not trying to be a blog, and I encourage anyone who's really passionate about what they're selling on eBay to have a blog. Squidoo is a pointer, but it's built of these building blocks we call modules, these little blue boxes. A module can be Amazon, a module could be Netflix, a module could be eBay. But we also have modules where you can upload photos on Flickr and point to them. We have modules where you can have the top 10 things you should know before you buy a used car on eBay. Or where you could say, here's an item I sell a lot, here's my description. Inside the eBay module, it'll have a little picture, it'll have a little description of your auction, and then when they click on that, they go straight to your auction page, and it's just the same as it's always been. They're on your eBay page, ready to buy something.
I've been dying to know, why do you call pages lenses and publishers lens masters?
Well, what I learned a long time ago is that words matter. Permission marketing took off and has had a huge impact, partly because when I say permission marketing, you know what I mean without a lot of explanation. The Purple Cow could have been called How to Grow Your Business by Being Remarkable, but giving it a two-word phrase, a phrase that's easy to talk about, helps the idea spread. So with Squidoo, We know they're pages, but there's lots of different kinds of pages on the internet. There are pages that sell things, there are pages where people write, there are pages with pictures. These are different. These are lenses, something to look through. And a squid has a big eyeball, which is why it's called squidoo. There are lenses that filter and focus the light. Well, once we had lenses, what are we going to call the people who build them? Someone who builds a website is a webmaster, so someone who built a lens is a lens master.
Well, that's the kind of creative thinking I'd expect from you. That's great. So lens masters get exposure through Squidoo and through search engines, but Squidoo also pays the lens master a royalty based on affiliate income. So how much can someone expect to earn by building a Squidoo lens?
Well, right now, the short answer is you can't expect to earn very much. And the idea behind Squidoo, the reason I started it is I want to raise a lot of money for charity. So the business deal is as follows. We take all the money that comes in from Amazon and Netflix and eBay affiliate deals, from our Google AdWords, from anything you sell, and 5% of it we give to charity. And then we give half of it to the lens masters. And our hope is that you will earmark that royalty to charity. So every day, without you doing any incremental work, you're earning a few pennies or a few nickels or a few dimes for juvenile diabetes research or for your local church or for any charity that's already working with us. And you can nominate new charities. Because if 20,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 people are donating those proceeds to charity, that would be a great thing. But it's just fine to keep the money. And we make it very easy for you to do that. We just send it to you by PayPal every month or two. And we don't take any fancy deductions. The accounting is as transparent as we can make it. We did our very first pay about a week ago, just covering a few weeks, and one person earned $30. So that's nothing compared to what you're making on eBay. But the way I think of it is we are paying you to do marketing. The marketing is the reason you ought to do it. The extra click-throughs, the extra visits to the page, and most important, the trust that you're going to build if you're an expert in something. So when people point out about the money, I say, well, how much did you get paid to run a blog? The answer is usually you have to pay for it. Here we're turning it upside down and rewarding people if they build lenses that actually work.
I just want to clarify, Squidoo is not a nonprofit company, correct?
That's correct. It's structured like a co-op in that we tell people how we're splitting up the money, but it's not a nonprofit. Our goal is to be self-sustaining and eventually profitable, but we didn't build it to make it worth a lot. We built it to help a lot of people accomplish their goals.
Great. And is it easy to build a Squidoo lens?
Well, my 10-year-old built his on hybrid cars in about 10 minutes. If it takes you more than 10 minutes, I think we've failed.
And how can people find your Squidoo lens?
Well, I'm very lucky because my mom was going to name me Scott. And right before I came home from the hospital, my grandfather intervened. He said, Scott's the kind of bathroom tissue, you need a new name. And so the name Seth works great on the internet. So if you type Seth into Google, you'll find my blog. And if you type Seth into Squidoo, you'll find my lens.
Thanks, Seth. That was Seth Godin of Squidoo.com. You can learn more on Squidoo.com and on SethGodin.com. I'm Ina Steiner, reporting for Auction Bites.